Hello students, welcome in this lecture which is based upon Article 16 of Indian Constitution. The main object of Article 16 is to create a constitutional right to equality of opportunity in matters of public employment. This article is confined to citizens as distinguished from other persons and to employment under the state, where the relationship of matters and servants exists between the state and the employees. It means the relationship of master and servant exists between the state and the employees. Equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state means that public employment and appointment to public office shall be on grounds which do not a prior exclude any citizen or class of citizens. The concept of equal opportunity is thus a mere comprehensive notion of equality and equality, thereby ensure equal chance and occasion in matters of public employment and appointment. Equal opportunities for equals, that is to say, those who are similarly circumstanced in life. Clause 1 of Article 16 is word in affirmative and guarantees equality among equals at all stages of employment, while it forbids preference of any class of citizens to another. It does not forbid classification and differentiation between different classes of citizens placed in different social circumstances or placed differently. Equality of opportunity. It means Article 16. We have to understood this, that another particular application of the general principle of equality or protection clause enshrined in Article 14 is contained in Article 16, which secures to every citizen equality of opportunity in matters relating to public employment. According to Article 16, there shall be equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Clause 1 of Article 16 guarantees to all citizens equality of opportunity in matter relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Clause 2 further strengthens the guarantee contained in Clause 1 by declaring that no citizen shall, on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, residence, or any of them, be eligible for or discriminated against in respect of any employment or office under the state. It is further open to the appointing authority to lay down such prerequisite conditions of appointment as would be conducive to the maintenance of proper discipline among government servants. The power to fix essential qualification is with the statutory authority, and the court cannot ordinarily direct the employer to prescribe a qualification for recruitment. The qualifications prescribed may, therefore, besides mental excellence, include physical fitness, sense of discipline, moral integrity, loyalty to the state. In the case of Rajya Sabha Secretariat versus Subhas Baloda, the court says that Article 16 does not prevent the state prescribing the requisite qualifications and the selection procedure for requirement or appointment. However, the qualifications or the selective test must not be arbitrary. These must be based on a reasonable ground and must have nexus with the efficient performance of the duties and obligation of the particular office or post also. Also that the qualification cannot be altered and applied with retrospective effects so as to deprive the recruitees of their right to the post to which they were recruited, nor can it affect their confirmation, nor can they be shifted to post in a different stream and in a lesser scale. Now we have to see the word only. The emphasis in Article 16 Class 2 is on the word only, and where there is discrimination only on any of the grounds maintained therein, this clause will come into play. This clause will come into play. But where discrimination is based partly on the grounds contained in Article 16 Class 2 and partly on other consideration, there will be no contravention of this clause also. Okay. Also, where discrimination is based on grounds other than those mentioned in Class 2, it would not attract this clause. But the case will have to be weighed and judged in the light of the general principle laid down in Clause 1 of Article 16. For example, if discrimination is made on the ground of backwardness, Clause 2 will not be attracted. In the case of C.V. Muthamma versus Union of India, the Supreme Court held Rule 8(1) of Indian Foreign Service Conduct and Discipline Rules 1961 and Rule 8 Class 4 of Indian Foreign Service Recruitment Cadre Seniority and Promotion Rules 1961 as discriminatory against women. Rule 8(1) provides that a women member of the service would obtain permission of the government in writing before her marriage was solemnized and could be required to resign from service after her marriage. If the government was satisfied that her family and domestic commitments were likely to come in the way of the due and efficient discharge of her duties as a member of the service, Rule 18 Class 4 stood in her way to promotion to Grade 1 of the service. So the court said that this is a discriminatory against women. Now we will talk about the requirement as to residence in a state. It means Article 16, Class 3. This clause empowers the Parliament to make any law prescribing in regard to a class or classes of employment or appointment to an office under the government of or any local or authority within a state or union territory. Any requirement as to residence within that state or union territory prior to such employment or appointment. It may be noted that it is the Parliament and not the legislature of a state which can make any law under Clause 3 of Article 16. Since Clause 3 constitutes an exception to Article 16, Clause 1 and Clause 2, it has to be constructed strictly. Now, the next important thing is reservation of post for backward classes. It means Article 16, Class 4. Clause 4 of Article 16 is expressly permitted that the state can make provision for the reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizen, which, in the opinion of the state, is not adequately represented in the service under the state. The expression backward class of citizen in Article 16, Clause 4 includes the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. The object of providing reservation to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe and educationally and socially backward classes of the society is to remove inequality in public employment, as the candidates belonging to the categories are unable to compete with the candidates belonging to the general category as a result of facing centuries of oppressions and deprivation of opportunity. This class cannot be extended to persons acquiring a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe status by voluntary mobility. Further, children of intercaste marriage couples, of which one is scheduled caste or scheduled tribe, have been held not entitled to claim reservation benefits. However, such children can claim relaxation of marks. It means Article 16 Clause 4 is not an exception of Article 16 Clause 1. In the case of Indira Sahni versus Union of India, the Supreme Court, by majority of 6 to 3, has ruled that Clause 4 of the Article 16 is not an exception to Clause 1. Rather, it is an enabling provision, an instance of classification implied in and permitted by Clause 1. Article 16 Clause 4 is an enabling provision enacted to secure the eligibilities. Reservation for the backward class is not a mandate. It has been held to be prerogative of the state. It conferred a discriminatory power on the state to make reservation of appointments in favor of backward classes of citizens and not adequately represented in the service of the state either numerically or qualitatively. It confers no right on citizens to claim reservation. Article 16 Clause 4 has been held not mandatory. How reservation is to be made is a matter of policy. However, state's jurisdiction, while exercising its executive or legislative function in respect of reservation or affirmative action, is limited to deciding the extent of reservation to be made for a class that is socially, educationally, and economically backward, either in public service or for obtaining admission in educational institutes. Now, there is a reason that we have to discuss the case of T. Devdasan versus Union of India. In this case, the carry forward rule regulating reservation of vacancies for candidates belonging to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes was struck down by the court as invalid and unconstitutional. In T. Devdasan versus Union of India, which is popularly known as carry forward rule case, the Supreme Court considered the scope of Article 16 Clause 4. In this case, the carry forward rule regulating reservation of vacancies for candidates belonging to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes was struck down by the court as invalid and unconstitutional. As a result of the application of the unplugged rule in the year 1961, out of the 45 vacancies actually filled, 29 went to the candidates belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. That came to about 64% of reservation. The majority of the Supreme Court, following M.R. Balaji versus State of Mysore, declared that reservation exceeding 50% in a single year would be unconstitutional and invalid. The court held that such excessive reservation had the effect of destroying the guarantee of equality of opportunity contained in Article 16 Clause 1. The court further ruled that for the purpose of reservation, each year should be taken by itself, and therefore there should be no carry forward of the unfilled reserved vacancies. Now another important question is related about the reservation in promotion. The most popular case, Indira Sahni versus Union of India. We know this case as the name of the Mandal Commission case. It is said by the Supreme Court in this case that Article 16 Clause 4 did not contemplate or permit reservation in promotion. So, this is the important case in this point. The court observed that while it was certainly just to say that a handicap should be given to backward class of citizens at the stage of initial appointment, but it would be a serious and unacceptable inroad into the rule of equality of opportunity to say that such a handicap should be provided at every stage of promotion throughout their career. This rule was laid down by the Supreme Court has been modified. As regard the members belonging to the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes by the Constitution's 77th Amendment Act 1995, which has added a new clause 4A to Article 16, and this clause provides that nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any provision for reservation in matters of promotion to any class or classes of post in the service under the state in favor of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe, which, in the opinion of the state, are not adequately represented in the service under the state. And in the case of Commissioner of Commercial Taxes, Andhra Pradesh Hyderabad versus G. Setu Madhav Rao, the Supreme Court upheld the 77th Amendment 1995. In the case of Jagdish Lal versus State of Haryana, the Supreme Court clarified that when reserved candidates had been promoted earlier to a general candidate, their seniority in the new cadre would rank from the date of their joining on promotion. Before discussing about this point, we have to know about two cases. The first is Union of India versus Virpal Singh, and the second is Ajit Singh versus State of Punjab. A 5-judge constitutional bench of the Supreme Court in Ajit Singh versus State of Punjab held that these were not correctly, which was decided in Jagdish Lal case. The court explained that the primary purpose of Article 16 Clause 4 and Article 16 Clause 4A was to provide due representation to certain classes in certain posts. The court said that the Constitution had laid down in Article 14 and 16 the permissible limits of affirmative action by way of reservation under Article 16 Clause 4 and 16 Clause 4A, while permitting reservation at the same time. It has also placed certain limitations by way of Article 14 and 16, 16 clause 1, so that there is no reverse discrimination. The court ruled that both Articles 16 clause 4 and 16 clause 4a did not confer any fundamental right, nor did they impose any constitutional duties, but were only in the nature of enabling provisions, vesting a discretion in the state to consider providing reservation if the circumstances mentioned in those articles so warranted. In this case, the court explained that the candidates promoted earlier by virtue of rule of reservation or roster shall not be entitled to seniority over his senior in the feeder category, and that is, and when a general candidate who was senior to him in the feeder category is promoted, such senior candidate will regain his seniority over the reserved candidate, notwithstanding that he is promoted subsequent to the reserved candidate. The Supreme Court had opened that it was open to the state if it was so advised to say that while the rule of reservation shall be applied and the roster followed in the matter of promotions, the candidate promoted earlier by virtue of rule of reservation or roster shall not be entitled to seniority over his senior in the feeder category, and that is, and when a general candidate who was senior to him in the feeder category is promoted, such senior candidate will regain his seniority over the reserved candidate, notwithstanding that he is promoted subsequent to the reserved candidate. After it, the Constitution 85th Amendment Act 2001 is important. To negate the effect of the Virpal case and Ajit Singh case, Article 16 Clause 4A has been amended by the Constitution 85th Amendment Act 2001. In the Amendment Clause 4A of Article 16 is place of the words in matter of promotion to any class. The word in matter of promotion with consequential seniority to any class have been substituted. The effect of the Constitution 85th Amendment Act 2001 is that when reserved candidates are promoted earlier to general candidate, their seniority in the new cadre would rank from the date of their joining on promotion, and this seniority would not and could not have the effect of getting wiped out after the promotion of general candidates from their respective dates of promotion, and that the general candidate would remain junior in higher echelons to the reserved candidates. The constitutional validity of the Constitution 85th Amendment Act 2001 has been upheld by the Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court in M. Nagaraj versus Union of India. In this case, the constitutional validity of the Constitution 85th Amendment Act 2001 has been upheld by the court. The court ruled that alteration of the catch-up rule or instruction of the concept of consequential seniority code did not violate the basic structure of the equality code enshrined in Article 15, 14, 15, and 16. After it, the other important topic is exclusion of 50% ceiling in carry forward reserved vacancies. Article 16, Clause 4B. In Indira Sahni versus Union of India, the majority had ruled that operation of carry forward rule should not result of breach of 50% rule. This rule would no more be followed after the enactment of the Constitution 81st Amendment Act 2000. The Clause 4B provided that nothing in this article shall prevent the state from considering any unfilled vacancies of the year which are reserved for being filled up in that year in accordance with any provisions for reservation made under Clause 4 or Clause 4A as a separate class of vacancies to be filled up in any succeeding year or years, and such class of vacancies shall not be considered together with the vacancies of the year in which they are being filled up for determining the ceiling of 50% reservation on total number of vacancies of that year. This new Clause 4B enables the state to carry forward the unfilled reserved vacancies to be filled in any succeeding years so as to remove the backlog. Notwithstanding the rule of 50% ceiling, it has been ruled that vacancies reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe cannot be de-reserved and filled from open category, since it would amount to violation of Article 16, Clause 4B. After it, we will see the provisions of Article 16, Clause 5. This article says that nothing in this article shall affect the operation of any law which provides that the incumbent of an office in connection with the affairs of any religious or denominational institutions or any member of the governing body thereof shall be a professing a particular religion or belonging to a particular denomination. Clause 5 of Article 16 is the third exception of the general rule of equality of opportunity contained in Article 16, Clause 1. Clause 2 prohibits discrimination in the matters of employment under the state on the ground of religion. Clause 5, however, provides that a law may prescribe that the incumbent of an office in connection with the affairs of any religious or denominational institutions or any member of the governing body thereof shall be a person professing a particular religion or belonging to a particular denomination. Clause 5 of Article 16 thus permits that an office in connection with the affairs of Hindu religion or Hindu religious denomination can be held only by a Hindu, if it is so provided in a document relating to it. Likewise, any office under a Muslim institutions may be required to be held only by a Muslim. These exceptions may be read with the fundamental right to freedom of religion contained in Article 25 to 28 and the right of the minorities under Article 29 and 30. After it, the 103rd Constitution Amendment Act 2019 is important, by which the Article 16 Class 6 is added in the Constitution. This article makes a provision that nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any provision for the reservation of appointments or posts in favor of any economically weaker section of citizens other than the classes mentioned in Class 4, in addition to the existing reservation and subject to a maximum of 10% of the post in each category. It provides 10% reservation in government job. This amendment provides the 10% reservation in government job to the economically weaker section in the unreserved category. The Act amends Article 15 and 16 to provide for reservation based on economic backwardness. For the purpose of Article 15 and Article 16, economically weaker section to be notified by the state from time to time on the basis of family income and other indicators of economic disadvantage. After it, in short, we discussed about the difference in Article 15 and Article 16. Article 16 is applicable only in case of employment or appointment to an office under the state. Making of appointment to a public office is a prerogative of the particular government. Article 16 is similar to Article 15 in one respect. Both these provisions prohibit discrimination against citizens on specified grounds. However, Article 15 is wider in operation than Article 16. While Article 16 prohibits discrimination only in respect to one particular matter relating to employment or appointment to post under the state, and Article 15 lays down a general rule and prohibits discrimination respect to all or any matter. In one respect, Article 16 is wider than Article 15. The grounds are on the basis of which discrimination is prohibited, while Article 15 prohibits discrimination on any of the 5 grounds: religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. And Article 16 contains 7 prohibited grounds: religion, race, caste, sex, descent, place of birth, or residence. Article 15 does not contain descent and residence as the prohibited grounds of discrimination. However, both these articles can be invoked by citizens only. Okay, children and dear students, this is enough for you about Article 16. After it, we will meet in our next lecture. Thank you.